right about there. Come on. Come on, people. Yeah. Right. All right. One person watching. Come on in. Any minute now. Grand tour. What up, people? Hey, all three of y'all, welcome to Giraffe. Ballz. Glad y'all here. I am your host, the cool black uncle you never knew you had, your Uncle Jeff. Welcome. Tonight's show is going to be brought to you by pre-roll, half a pre-roll, and a pen. I'm going to go get my pen on the break. I'm going to try this pen to us phone. My apologies for the lateness of the hour, and it's only for something stupid. Wait, let me tell y'all why I'm late. Because I took the iRig that I have to Dash Radio to do, what's up, Onyx? To do my show. And I made sure that to do the inappropriate hour. What up? What up, Rob? I went to do the inappropriate hour. I took my stuff down, so I brought it back in here to my studio to put it up. And I put everything up, and still I couldn't hear nothing. I couldn't hear nothing. I'm working feverishly. I was ready, 11 on the dot. I was feverishly working. Nothing. I couldn't hear nothing. Looked like everything I had set back. My dumbass had not fully plugged in one of my cables, so I couldn't hear anything. So for 30 minutes, I was fiddling around. All I had to do was plug the cable all in. Just dumb. My apologies. Special show tonight. I'm waiting on it any second now. My man, fellow comedian, writer, and how's my sound, by the way? Is that loud enough? My mic? Let me see, because I like my mic to hit a little harder. Like, oh wow, noise for. Alright, yeah. Anyway, what up, Jeffrey Brown with the great name? Tonight, to chop it up with R. Kelly, I'm going to have a friend of mine, Brandon Bowen, who is has a show on Facebook right now. And I'm waiting on him to hit me so that I'm going to put him on a speaker so he will be on my show while I am on his show. But I'm not sure. I thought he was going to hit me by now. I'm going to make sure we're good. Let me see. He hit him with that. See if he's going to call me. Sounds good? Okay, great. What am I talking on tonight? A pre-roll hooked up for me by my cousin. And tonight I'm going to try a vape pen. To be honest with y'all, I didn't get out to the weed store. And I've been so busy. I'm very busy right now. I hope if you watch The Fix on Netflix or D.L. Hughley's Contrarian, those are two projects that I was heavily involved in writing. I hope to have some big news for y'all very, very soon about some other shit that I'm getting down on. If you got them, smoke. You know, I find pre-rolls to not be as strong. Hold on just a minute. Lee always some music. Let's see here. Low fly was cracking. What's happening, bang up? Run that? No, I'm going to run over here. We're going to close that. some Logic tracks. I ain't played this one in a second. So long, I don't even know. I just know it's hip hop. It's called Slew Footed and Rolling Up, which is, you ever see them dudes when they get mad, them gangsters? This is original LA gangsters. This is the only play. Oh, wow. Man, you request Bumper 13, you certainly can. That comes up next. You ever see gangsters? This is an LA thing, where when they finna do something to you, they have on the plaid shirt, button all the way up to the top, with khakis and chucks. They slew-footed, and they roll up on you, say food. That was the impetus for naming this track. So here it goes, slew-footed and rolling up. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, is this who I think it is?
Yeah, it is. I'm going to call you right back. I just want to make sure that it's the right number, brother.
This is the right number, Peppin. Ladies and gentlemen, you will be hearing from the one and only Mr. Brandon Boland. He's going to call me back, and we're going to chop it up on R. Kelly.
Right now I'm talking to, I'm playing Farrakhan.
Oh, shit.
So
that's what's up. All right, man, call me back. All right, cool. Let me know, did y'all hear that? Did you just hear the speakerphone on my phone? Was that good enough for y'all? Let me know. And let me know immediately so I can do whatever I need to do to make that work right. Oh wow, dig that. Man. Oh, hell yeah. I'm gonna run out of my headphones into my interface so that I can mix the phone call into the show. Why the hell not? Ain't nobody tell me that won't work. You can hear me? It was good? Okay. I'm glad. Alright, well, it's a smart cat, man. That's the homie. Okay, good. So, I hope everybody's New Year's is going well. I believe this was our first full week. How did it go for you? How many of you are caught up in the R. Kelly thing? I have a controversial opinion. What a shock to what's going on with the aura right now. And how I feel about it. And we're going to get into that with my main man Brandon when he calls back, which should be in a few minutes. All right, which is cool. Chase, what's cracking, man? Let me pull for you. Which is a little unfair to pull for you and not pull for Rob. If I pull for Rob, I pull for Blowfly. Come on, Blowfly. Name like that. Man, there's somebody else's name, my name. It's Jeff Brown. I pull for Jeff Brown. And Rob Williams. And last but not least, my main man, CJ Ox. Robert Williams said, too caught up with R. Kelly. That's all everybody's talking about. Well, we're going to talk about it too. And we're going to talk about why that's all everybody's talking about. All right. Now, I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to get my diffuser cracking proper. I'm going to go get my pen and get me something to drink. And when I come back, I'm going to turn on I'm going to turn on as per the request. I'm going to play 13 when I get back. So y'all sit tight. I'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, uh, with us now is my man, uh, Brandon Boland of writing fame, of comedic fame, a veteran in the game, a writer for freelance for the Huffington Post. The Dark Room is one of his get downs. He is simultaneously broadcasted on YouTube right now. What's the name of your damn show, Brandon?
It's called Nidus.
Nidus. Yes.
Nidus.
Yeah.
It's produced from the dark room, and the resource level that I call is called the under. So all those things if you look up, and we're going to be actually moving over to YouTube. But right now we're coming from Facebook over to your platform, and the people on my show can hear you from your platform over in Facebook. So we're crossing them up. We're doing what they don't want us to do. This wasn't supposed to happen. They knew we weren't supposed to get together, Jeff.
No. This is what we're supposed to be up here with is cats and people taking it in the balls. We ain't supposed to be up here with this. So, and speaking of this, let's, like you said, man, let's hop on into this thing with R. Kelly. Let me set this up real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Usually when people disagree with me, and I'm about to play track number 13 as y'all have requested, usually when people disagree with me, because I try to study or only talk what I know, I usually the argument ends with "fuck you, nigga," because they don't have nothing else. This dude here, whenever I disagree with Brandon Boland, I have to go back and think about what it is he said without fail, which is why I'm so happy to have him on the show. So let's go on and bust into R. Kelly.
Okay, so this is my second show. The first show I did on R. Kelly was after I sat and binge watched it like everybody else in the goddamn country. And I had on comedian Alicia Cooper, excuse me, who's currently one of the voices in the new Spider-Man movie. And I called her up and I said, look here, we're going to do what we got to do, but I don't want you to lose any vibe with the Marvel Universe that you're in because of my little show. But right. I wanted a woman's position on it. Because too many times I've seen too many brothers, our attitudes are kind of like a tidal wave on this thing because a lot of emotional stuff comes out, but none of the female stuff is coming through. So what she had, it was a great show. She had a lot of things to talk about. She actually spoke up in behalf of trying to understand the abuse all along the trail. So she was talking about the abuse that happened to R. Kelly and then how he's floating that down the stream.
Wow.
And so, yeah, dig that. And I thought it was really deep because she brought it. And then at the end, I did a part of my show where I presented a bunch of sheroes, women. A lot of the women from my show, I asked them to submit who they think were very positive people, positive women, just every day. And I did 4 of them, and they were really beautiful stories. But my point is, the next day, Jeff, after this shit, this is why I hit you up. Excuse me. Was I started to see this bifurcation going on between us. And people were acting up sides to this. And I found I was both, like horrified, enraged, and very much interested in how there's a lot of complexities in there, but there's a lot of brothers that are coming from kind of the anti-feminist movement that's moving in over there, kind of saying, well, you're just trying to bring a brother down. And there's other people that are like, well, the deflectionists, they're like, what about the women? What about the families? But they have salient points, but that shouldn't be, that's not the club, because the main kernel is what the fuck has happened, not trying to look over into folks. And then on the other side, I saw people who seemed reasonable, but at the same time, it's like you have to embrace the fact that this is much bigger than you just being mad at R. Kelly. And just before we came on, I came on with you, I played Minister Farrakhan's speech. Have you heard it?
No, I have not heard what Brother Minister had to say. What?
Well, Minister Farrakhan was talking about, he had a 4-hour discussion with R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And he went into Jesus, and he went into how R. Kelly needs to be healed,
Oh,
And
this was a recent conversation.
he had this speech was given in October
Oh,
last year.
oh, last year.
And
Okay, okay.
the problem with the speech that I had, and I'm an atheist, so I don't speak down to the Nation of Islam. I think they're very important, especially in the Afro-American diaspora,
Sure.
to grow and to be better and to be strong. They're the first, I said, that were for Black Power. They're the first for Black is Beautiful. They were the very first ones to lay it out in such a way, and in less than a generation, he turned young men, thousands of people around in less than a generation.
Oh, bro, I'm from
Incredible.
Chicago. Yeah, I've seen it firsthand.
Well, we're going to get to Chicago in a minute, but my point is that I don't agree with that, and I think that's the dangers of religion, because religion can be bought, cajoled, and not even for a high pro that is. You know what I'm saying? All she did was flap her arms kind of slowly, knowing that that's the guy that's saying, "I believe I can fly." But she's a woman, and not, a couple or 20-some years ago, he was pissing on a 14-year-old Black girl. And I stated this is the last time. I said, would the minister give this same speech? Because in the speech, he talked about how difficult it was. We all need healing, and how hard it was to get over the abuses of our oppressor. The white abuse of our white oppressors for all these years. And would he give the same speech if that had been a white man peeing on that young Black girl? And if you can't take that and move that over, because you and I both know that shit has happened. So if you can't take that and see the generality of it, that's one of the problems of religion, is that it will poke out one of your eyes so you can't see straight.
Okay.
But anyway, so go ahead.
I definitely agree about what you say about religion poking out one eye. However, and I'm going to have to back up to him discussing Jesus with R. Kelly. I say religion is training wheels. Spirituality is a space shuttle.
Okay.
Once you admit that there is a higher power, because I believe that. I do believe in far more than coincidence, and I got 100 could have been dead stories, 100 ain't no other way this happened other than, and when I was young, I thought it was Jesus and how Jesus is the way.
Right.
And then I was on the Turn Jesus Black train. But then...
Wait a minute, the Turn Jesus Black train?
Come on.
Was a train for that shit?
Oh, there's a train. Come on, bro. Look up.
And
niggas.
Look, on the stands was JJ's Black Jesus that he drew.
Yes.
He painted on good time.
Yes, that started it up. That really fired it up. And so now you niggas is turning Jesus black. But I have bad news for you. Jesus is black the way the Hulk is green. Okay? It doesn't make him any more real because you gave him nappy hair.
Right. Well, all you're saying is, what I say is that whoever he was black.
Right.
Even if he wasn't the son of God, but he was a man.
Whoever that dude was a black dude. So but here's my point. Here's my point. Is that whether you call it Jesus, Allah, whatever you call it, it is the higher consciousness that I believe man reaches for, and then religion jumps in between that on the way down and goes, this is what you call it, and I'll charge you 10% for that. So I get him pulling him in. I also disagree about the white man, because it's not the same thing to me. It says something entirely different when you fuck over your own. Now here's my last hold your thought. Here's my last point.
Here's the deal, though. Here's the deal right off of what you're saying. Fuck all the whole thoughts, okay? Don't all children matter in this situation?
Sure they do.
Shouldn't we say?
Sure they do. And I was about to agree with you before you interrupted me. Sure they do. Sure you do.
Let it go. We gotta stop trying to talk like we're all
Okay, well then fuck it then, nigga. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that all children matter. But guess what? My kids, the ones in the room next door asleep right now, those kids mean more to me than any other children on the earth. And if it came down to my kids, those two, the 5 children that are mine, them surviving over all the kids on the earth, then all the kids on the earth would die because those are my children. Now, the true question to ask Minister Farrakhan is, would you be able to tell R. Kelly that if it was your daughter or your niece or some sister from the nation that R. Kelly was pissing in the face of? Could you say that?
So here you got to the crux of it. And this is why we got to the debate today, because that is, to me, it is all a deflection. And the reality is, I talked to somebody who we both know, and I got on their page, and they were talking big shit. And they were look, I'm telling you, there's this thread. You've engaged in it. All of a sudden, now we're worrying about R. Kelly's wife and what she dances like and what she says and that she's speaking up for. Let's first remember that she was a beard. Let's second remember she actually was a dancer. She was beautiful. She had a body, she had an athletic body, like she was the shit. Okay?
She still does have a body like that.
Okay. So then she comes up and
she now has a face like the BoJack Horseman. If we really gonna be, have you seen? She is BoJack Horseman in the face, and you don't have to agree with me, but you could debate me on that if you like. I don't know from what point, but go right ahead.
I think that's wrong to bring that up. That ain't got nothing to do with what the fuck we're talking about. What somebody
you
looks like.
Brought up her looks, not me.
No, I didn't bring up the looks. I'm talking about the fact that she's a dancer, and people are actually using a twerking video as an assessment of this woman's character. And what I'm trying to say is, even in the thing, she says that she was a kept woman. That he kept her away from the shit. So she's not coming from Stockholm Syndrome. She's coming from a situation that is unthinkable by most people. Now, what she's talking about now is her children and children and how he's taking care of them and blah, 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 and doing what he can and blah, blah, blah. There's an article out that I wanted to show everybody, but your people may not hear it. Is it the one? I mean, you may not see it because you can't see me, but his daughter wrote an article about how he's a monster, quote unquote monster, but to her it's just dad. And my point is that when you get in there and start saying my kid, when I was talking to this other person or going at it with this other person on Facebook, all of a sudden, when I said, would you feel the same if somebody was pissing in your daughter's hair and in her face and all on her back? This person said to me, please leave my daughter out of it. And I don't know if you had kids and blah, blah. And the deflection turns, when it gets real, the deflection falls apart.
Right.
And everybody gets all fucking sensitive. But my point is that, yeah, I'm a little upset at this shit. My question, not to you, but my question in that particular situation is, why aren't you? If you have a daughter.
I can answer that. I wish you would ask me that.
I'm going to ask you this right now. Let me ask you this straight question. If it's fucking unthinkable for you even to mention it in a thread on social media, how in the fuck aren't you willy-nilly upset? I mean,
here's how.
Furious.
Here's how.
In regards to any other child. Go ahead.
Here's how. R. Kelly, and I unfortunately, and I will tell you in your face, I won't say it here because I'm not going to throw nobody under the bus, but comedians we both know very well hooked me up with seeing that video 3 months before it came out. I saw the video, and suffice it to say, that dude pissed on that girl. And I saw that video in, 97, 98?
Wow.
So I have not been fucking with R. Kelly since then. Right. I have not. I don't buy his records. I produce music, Brandon. R. Kelly is a genius. But I cannot separate what he did from what I hear, mostly because most of his music he sings on. So that's that nigga singing to me. And when he's singing a song about, like his song about bumping the headboard, I love that song until I see him bumping the headboard with a 15-year-old. And bruh, I've been there for 2 decades. So for this documentary to come out and come out now, regardless to how much more detail it has, it was a Pavlovian dog bell. And I will not jump to the outrage that I already have and ramp it up because the same people, the people who control the media decided to put this out now. They could have put this out at any other time. So I'm not with that.
That is bullshit. That's your thing. I understand your view.
Sure.
To lay that on everybody else, because that was the last that you put out thing. Not.
Okay. You just broke up a little bit. Repeat that.
That was the first post that you put up.
Sure.
When you said Pavlovian level, and that's bullshit. You're not thinking. You're thinking temporarily in Jeff's time. Okay, and no more aware of your surroundings than that because of the cars you drive. Okay, so you understand time. You understand the timelines. Right?
Sure.
So there are at least two generations that don't know him like we know him.
Okay.
Right? And to them, that information is brand fucking new. You're on the West Coast, and the rest of America wasn't in Chicago, Jeff. And so we didn't know the extent. And now there's new information. Who says you can't get mad if you have new information? Who says you can't say, wait a minute, who says you can't revisit it in a couple years ago? You didn't get that. So now, with you, it is a fucking show, and I didn't like the editorial of it. The music, the flashing cuts, and all the shit to make it look the way you can just tell that story and it's fucked up.
Right. They didn't need well now what you're getting into is the sophomoric level of production as opposed to having that documentary done by real documentary makers. So I picked up on that.
Explain that. Break that down, because I really want to know why you say that sophomore. Break it down.
To the reaction shots, the fact that the pictures in the first episodes of R. Kelly, the pictures of him are all happy and positive, and then when they want him to look brooding, they use brooding shots. They use that's unnecessary.
I agree. But you know he pissed on that girl. So it's not Pavlovian. It's this new information is coming, and yes, it may have an editorial level that you and I both don't like, but it's still making the salient point that this motherfucker got away with this shit, and he continued. Do we believe, because we don't like the parents, or because we think these girls were doing their own things, do we believe these young women who are crying and in tears and talking about this shit, or do we believe other people who are around saying, well, it couldn't have happened? People now who are creating conspiracies.
How about all of the following being true? R. Kelly is a sick fuck who had sex with and married and peed on in a video young teenage girls and needs to be behind bars when he gets his help. Every shortcut runs through the devil's backyard, and trying to take a shortcut to success, regardless to where you are, because you're coming from a place of lack, lends you to being in a position to be peed on. Because I don't know.
Wait a minute, hold up.
Okay.
That's some old cotton.
No.
Where the fuck did you pull that from?
That is straight from Jeff Brown. And every time you take a shortcut, you fucking with the devil. You fucking with the devil every time you take a shortcut. Think about
Science doesn't tell you that. Science
really? 2 points is
the shortest difference between 2 points is a straight goddamn line.
Okay, fine. We are both well versed in the laws of basic electricity and electronics and intermediate electronics, and I don't know how much further you go than there, but I believe we both know that it is inaccurate and dangerous to wire shit up, even in a car, and go, you know what? I'm just going to take a wire and stick it under here till I get voltage, and then now this device I have works.
It just sounds like faith to me. That's what that
sounds like. No, exactly. It might, but that's taking a shortcut. And that shortcut runs through the devil's backyard and may have your ass on the 91 in the middle of nowhere on fire because you took a shortcut.
It doesn't matter, Jeff.
Sure it does. It absolutely does. Yes, it does.
I'm sorry, if a girl comes to you, man, backstage, a 14-year-old who might even look 18 with an 18-year-old body,
sure,
wearing nothing but a fur coat.
Sure.
And she opens up her coat. She says, "I want to be a comic. I want to open for you in many ways."
Sure.
It's up to fucking you. It is we don't sit here and philosophize over where she came from, what her mindset is, who her parents are, what the hell happened on the train before she got there, what kind of shoes she's wearing, what she has in her pockets. We don't look at what she has in her book. We don't look at what kind of student she is.
Absolutely.
We don't look at any of that bullshit.
Absolutely.
It's up to you to say no. You know why? Because you're a grown motherfucker.
Yes.
Because you're a grown
Absolutely.
That's why.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Now.
So what is that? So none of that other shit has anything.
No. I'm trying to cross the street. Cars keep coming.
Okay, go ahead.
What I heard.
Should have played more Frogger.
You stupid. What I heard was from every woman who said she was being held captive that I stomped on the floor and I didn't get any food. I was not nobody came to see me for days. When I got tired of it, I just left. Let me put that in a different perspective for you, Brandon.
Okay.
I got picked up this weekend, and I was in the L.A. County lockup. Nigga, they had stale bologna. The cheese was moldy. And they knew that I was from Pasadena over by a Crip area, whether I'm involved or not, and they put me in a blood tank. I got fed up and I left. Nigga, no you didn't, because there you're being held against your will. You cannot just leave anywhere if you're being held against your will.
What's your point?
My point is that to say that R. Kelly is holding women captive at his house would make more sense if there was some camera footage of him on the L platform with a pillowcase and a taser dragging people back to his house. That's not what happened.
Once again, okay, we're talking about underage. These women, okay, fine. They are working to be groupies. I don't give a fuck. It is up to him. It is up to him not to engage them. If they want to stay there, I need to stay here. No, you can't stay here. What are you talking? When you get into this kind of bullshit, Jeff, the problem is that you close one eye and you lose depth perception.
No.
You can't see.
No. Wrong.
You can't see.
Wrong.
You can't see the binocular situation that's going on here. It is
sure.
two. It takes two, and he is imposed. You say, okay.
I thought I covered that at the beginning.
Maybe you, at 14, was the motherfucker who could say, no, hell no, I want to. There is a very good reason ages and marrying ages are supposed to be far apart because those young men and young women are impressionable and can be controlled.
Wait, repeat that. What is supposed to be far apart?
The dating and marrying age. As a matter of fact, not far apart, excuse me. Yeah, they're supposed to be far apart. They can't be more I think Alaska has the widest breadth. I think it's 3 years. You can be up to 3 years apart in age. But it has to be within a certain bracket and a certain age group. And the reason why, and I say most of the time is that way, and not because we're a pure society and we're all moral and shit, it's because girls get pregnant. And old motherfuckers will twist their minds and impregnate women all across the fucking land. And it's not because we give a fuck, because we gave a fuck about young women and young men. There'd be more opportunities for everybody when they came of age. But that's not the situation. You're acting acting like this is a normal situation where they're just talking to somebody who's just, just a regular Joe. But I'm going to tell you, priests, preachers, teachers, they all seem to have it. I talked to a guy before, and he says, you got to look at pedophilia like this. The rabbits go where the lettuce is, bruh. And
right.
you see the system, when you see the systems that are set up, in LA County School District last year, I think about 21 people in a roundup. They did a break in a roundup, and they grabbed 21 people on pedophilia charges, certain different ones, the child pornography and dealing with the kids and such. But that's because you have these giant systems that are set up, and these people, men and women, mostly men, set up these systems that are uncontrolled. They're uncontrolled by the kids. The kids, it's like a labyrinth. They don't know. And the people that in those systems that do this shit are the minotaurs, okay? R. Kelly had enough money and power and fame at the time to set up his own goddamn system. There actually was a piece in the documentary where the two women were talking about how the fuck they couldn't even meet in the house. They tried to meet, they would call each other in the fucking house, and they couldn't even meet in the bathroom. And that's because this brother had such strict control. Also, he did have security. So he was, telling them which direction to go. I understand what you have, but even the wife was talking about she lived up in a different part of the house, and she had to knock the door. Remember, I forget the sister's name. She was in the room, in one of the viewing rooms, theaters, watching a movie with R. Kelly, and heard a faint knock at the door, and it was the wife who had come downstairs and was asking him if he could get something to eat. Now, whatever you want to say about those people not being strong, not being mentally strong, whatever, that's deflection. This motherfucker did that. And if they're 14 years old or 15, if they're underage...
I don't remember saying he didn't do that.
No, I know. What my point is that you're trying to say that they're not being held against their will. And I'm trying to tell you that this motherfucker's controlling them. They're 14, 15, 16 years old. I don't know how much power you had when you were that age. I don't know. But they obviously didn't. And it's on the motherfucker not to put him in that position. It's on you. Okay. It's on you.
How many, a quick question. How many of those girls at 14, 15, 16 years old were brought by their parents?
Brought to the scene by the parents?
Yes.
Well, we saw two that agreed. We saw two that didn't bring you. One went to a concert, and he showed up, and then there happened something. They did it so slick where the actual people said, okay, get to meet him backstage. And then he just basically absconded with her. That's what they said. That's the story. And then they've had a hell of a time. They pull her out of it. That he's picking them up and putting them in the Pinot. All right?
Okay, wait a minute. Let's stop there. Okay. So he met her. I'm guessing that girl, if I remember this correctly, was dropped off post.
Did you fall down the stairs? What the fuck happened?
Post piss video.
You said you're guessing, and then the phone went out. I don't know if you can still hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I said I'm guessing. But that girl was dropped off post piss video at the concert.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, it absolutely matters. It absolutely matters.
Now you're trying to blame it on the parents.
No, I don't. Okay. Brandon, if you had, I don't know, do you have any nieces and nephews?
I absolutely do.
Okay.
This is
How old? How old?
Now, one is now 29 years old.
Perfect. Is this by a brother or a sister?
Brother.
Your brother. Beautiful. Let's just say your niece is let's just say this is, she's how old now? 29?
She's yeah.
Perfect. So we go back 15 years. She's about 15, 16. She sings like a fucking hummingbird. Gorgeous. On the level of Brandy. And your brother takes her to an R. Kelly concert and basically absconds her. Does he have 10% Does he is he 10% to blame? What happens to her? 20%, 30%? What would you say to the niece you just mentioned?
What I would say is this. What I would say is this. He is a bad parent or maybe okay? But I'm not gonna sit here. If you want me to sit here and blame him for what that motherfucker does.
No, I don't. I want you to blame your brother for putting your niece in harm's way.
All I have to say is that he made a bad decision and he's a bad parent at that moment. That's all
That's all you'd say. You wouldn't try to go rescue your niece. You wouldn't go over and cuss your brother out. You wouldn't say, okay, then, from that energy, that's not the bad parent who made a bad choice. You are a horrible, you are a despicable motherfucker.
Bullshit.
So your brother's not despicable for giving his daughter up to be raped.
Let me lay it out to you.
Yeah. Please frame the wonderful, warm, positive way your brother is for not.
No. The reason why he didn't go to jail was because the people who were the parents and the girl herself
got even lower for money.
Wasn't her.
Yeah, they got low for money.
Okay. We don't know. You have no proof. If you did have proof of that and you didn't present it, you ain't shit. But I know you don't.
Bruh, here's what happens. Here's what happened.
No.
Here's what I believe.
Sure. You gotta let me finish.
Sure.
You gotta let me finish. Okay. Now, here is the hard, cold-ass, fucked-up truth about that. By the time that case came up, everybody in Chicago had seen it. A lot of people around America had seen it. They all knew, people who knew that family knew that girl.
Sure.
I think a few of them tried to step forward in the articles in the paper, but nobody would step forward for the trial.
Sure.
Okay. So here is the map. The kid is out there. If they step forward and say he did it, he's gonna go to jail, and she's still out there in this shit. There's a pile of money that's being offered. This is supposition. I'm just saying this is the map. Okay. And they say, they maybe make the choice. Okay, fuck it. We could have this money, and it can tie into a future. This happened. It's out there anyway. Okay. Now, you look at that and you say, that's amoral. That's fucked up. That's amoral. But here's what I know: is that courage is in short motherfucking supply. And everybody that sits here and talks this shit about what could have happened, he did that shit. And this is my part about Chicago. All I've ever heard about Chicago is how hard Chicago motherfuckers are, and they don't put up with shit. Not one of those moral, dope-ass motherfuckers that you say would make the decision to talk shit to their brothers and their uncles and all that shit. Now, none of those motherfuckers stepped to Rob's face and whooped his ass. Not one.
Absolutely.
They didn't take a shot at it.
Absolutely.
Shit.
The only reason I'm interrupting you is because you brought up 11 points that some of them I agree with and some of them I don't.
Courage is in short supply, and so in knowing that, yes, I would go off. Yes, I would do all the things that would come at me viscerally to expel the anger that I had.
Okay.
But right now, the only reason why that case is in the argument is that people are trying to deflect from what this motherfucker did.
Okay.
To the parents. It has nothing. I'm sorry that you're saying okay because you don't know.
Well,
no, you specifically.
I'm only now.
I'll shut up. You only know what happened to that girl because you saw the tape. You have no idea. You have a belief, but you have no idea what happened with the parents. All you have is the subject. And the ones that said it in the show said what happened.
Okay, Brandon.
They gave their story. Go ahead.
Wow. Let me start here. If I'm putting together a 1,000-piece puzzle, and I put together 700 pieces of it, and it's a lighthouse, the other 300 ain't gonna make it a windmill. It's a fucking lighthouse. Here's what happened. From my experience, and I'm going to judge because that's the root word in judgment.
This is what you believe happened.
Sure.
No.
This is what okay. No, I don't know. If I only went on what I know,
Important word.
if I
Very
if,
important word.
if you're very important, let me put that out there. If I only went on what I know as opposed to what I believe, I couldn't leave this chair because I believe there are stairs out there. I believe my car will start.
No, you know there's stairs out there.
Okay, I know there's stairs out there. I believe my car will start. I have to believe that to move. No, you don't know that. You don't know that.
No.
You have to believe it. You don't know your car will start. Every motherfucker. If I knew my car would start, there'd be no AAA. Anyway.
Once again, you're deflecting.
No. What I'm trying to do is get the same respect I gave you. I'm trying to speak this out. What I am saying is, here's what I believe happened.
Okay.
First off, in order to make this case go away, you have to be in connection with the fact that black people do not worship God. They worship money. That is why whenever somebody fucks up that's black, he got money. That's the favorite coon-ass response. These people who R. Kelly pissed on their daughter, you have to understand that these are the descendants of you know who moved from the Great Migration North? These people were a paycheck from homeless before a paycheck from homeless was apropos to say. The dude who daughter was peed on was a guitarist in R. Kelly's band. Here's what I believe happened. The video got out, and R. Kelly said, look, or somebody said, how about I pay off your house, and you can keep that house and rent it, and I'm going to buy you a house out in the suburbs. And in that house in the suburbs will be 4 cars and $500,000 cash. Deal? You tell a broke nigga on the south side some shit like that who more than likely may have offered his daughter up in the first place for this baby, this child, to be with this fucking alligator, R. Kelly. Please understand that I'm saying that more than R. Kelly is a predator is true. That's what I'm saying. How come it cannot be true that this dude, like others, offered their children up in the name of the God they truly worship, which is money, and that they, too, are not to be held accountable? Why is it right now? No, I'm going to give out a bunch of no, I can't let you do that because there are about 6 other rhetoricals you gave me. So I can't. No, rhetorical questions. You put out some questions that I tried to answer, and you wouldn't let me. You kept going. Now, because
you're not fast enough.
No. You're exactly. No.
Go ahead.
I can't. Here's why I can't go. Here's why I can't go ahead, Brandon. Because my show is called Giraffe Ballz, and I'm high, so I can't remember. I'm gonna have to defer to you because I can't remember. Now, what were you saying? Hello.
Go ahead.
I can't. I'm high. Okay, that's why it's important to let me speak when I need to speak.
I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot.
All right.
You were holding it together. You were holding it together, man, so well that I fucking forgot. Okay. I'll get you on track. One of the things I disagree with you on something when you say that all black people, or that black people worship money. They don't worship God. They worship money. That's bullshit. Anybody that's broke is going to look for their kids have been sold since the beginning of time. Matter of fact, that's what marriage really was all about. Okay, and it wasn't broke people. It was people who were rich. They were trying to make alliances and shit. They were selling off their daughters. That shit happens all the time. So I'm not saying you can't really put that on all black people. You can put it on this family, but it's still your belief. You have no idea what the circumstances were. You have no idea what happened. You don't. You absolutely don't. You do know that this guy did that. And so what? This is my part. This only buttresses the fact that he's fucked up. It does not in any way take away from what he's done. So mentioning it is a deflection because what you're saying is, well, what about the parents? That's whataboutism. Fuck that. If a a guy says he wants to sell you his little curl on the street, you say, man, get the fuck out of here. That's what you do, okay? He didn't. And here's the thing. I've always said, I'm getting you back on course. So I've always
Oh, no, there, yeah. I wanted you to frame how, since it's all on R. Kelly, if he was having his way with your niece, you and your brother would be bowling and drinking buddies. If you could frame that up for me.
I never said that. But it doesn't matter. I don't know if I would be alive if that happened. I do not know if I would be alive or not. I don't know, because my first duty would be to try to go to the place. And I'm going to tell you this, man. A lot of people talk shit about doing that. I mean, a lot of people talk shit about standing up for you, whether it's Trayvon Martin. And, man, I'm telling you, courage, and that kind of courage is rare as fuck. I'm not saying I'm a super courageous person. I would hope and believe that I would be the person to stand up. But every man, the keyboard supermen are not in short supply. But I'll be goddamned if today, if not today, police were called to his suite when he was staying in Trump Tower, and they were told that there were two girls that were being held captive. The police showed up, and the young girls, being of age, I believe, said that they would tell you that they weren't of age. So they said that they were of age, and they said they were there of their own accord.
Of course, because wherever they was going, wherever those women of age were going, was not the Trump Tower, nigga. Okay. What you are basically doing is trying to discount the fact that these women who are of age have made themselves available for a price.
I'm not talking about the women of age, Jeff. I'm talking about the young girls. I don't give a fuck what grown folk do. If you're in a certain age, fine. That's
right. That's where we agree.
What we're talking, when I'm talking about the young girls, 14, call yourself 16, 17. In Chicago, I believe it's 17. But if he started the relationship when they were 14, 15, and look, the real crux of all this, or why all this even gives it fucking matters, are two things. Jim Ragosta, I think his name is. He's a music critic, been a music critic for a couple decades. And he's done some research. I mean, I heard him on NPR yesterday. He said, first of all, he's written for everybody.
Okay.
Everybody has made money with this dude. Second thing is he has generated over $250 million. And that is the only reason why that this is being discussed. And, of course, today is the third day of his clapback, which... And I'm just going to lay this out.
Okay, too many hymns, too many hits. Are you saying R. Kelly has produced $250 million, or this?
A quarter, he is generated.
This guy.
Now, you know what that means. You know what that means.
Sure.
It doesn't mean it's in his pocket.
Of course not.
Somebody else's pocket, right? So he's generated over a quarter billion. That's $250 million.
Yeah.
Up top. That's why. And so that's why when this thing dropped, you saw R. Kelly going into this club. It was some obscure club that they said they loved him, and he sat up there singing a song. Everybody was like, oh. Then the next report that came out was some hit pieces on some of the women. And this is one of the big problems, and I'm going to get to this. But anyway, and then another one came out, said he might be having, he's having panic attacks because of what has happened. So there's this kind of campaign going on to humanize this cat, right? And it ain't coming from nowhere.
Sure.
That's my belief. That's
yeah. Y'all about to kill my prize buck. That's where it's coming from.
Where you were right about the amateurism and the big problem in editorializing in the show that I did not like was when you see one of the people that they interviewed was the first guy that interviewed R. Kelly after he had beat the case. The guy named Teray.
Teray, yeah.
And Teray got up there and he talked about it, and they interviewed him several times, and he was like, yeah, this is what happened, boom, boom, boom. And he came out and he was amazed because he threw him a softball up front. And then R. Kelly just kind of went and get talking. And that actually was the cue that I took when I did my video, when I did my sketch with me, Joey Wells, Harry Ratchford, and Rodney Perry on this particular issue, when I was told not to do it by my manager. And they said, don't do it, don't put it out. I did it anyway. And the point is that he did that interview. and he talked in the show several times. But dig it, he had a skeleton in his closet that he should have come out with. That should have been the first fucking thing out of his mouth. But instead, he's thinking he would hide it. He had been sitting up there. He had a show on the airs, on cable. And he was apparently sitting in the chair with his makeup artist and just saying all kinds of fucked up shit like be like anal and saying all this crazy, just asking it to her over and over and over again. And then they had an exchange, and he kept, he kept saying different shit like, I want to come and in you or on you and all this other stupid shit he was saying. And he's married. I think he was married at the time that he was saying this shit. And she published, right after he was on that show, that's where he did the show, the R. Kelly thing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening. It's me listening.
Right after he did it, she published their exchanges, their text exchanges, in essence, where she shows and she tells that this motherfucker was talking this crazy shit to her daily and talking all this nonsense. As if he's sitting in a chair and she's his makeup artist. And then another one came in. She left. She bounced.
Okay.
Because, they're contract workers.
What point are you making, though?
I'm making the point that I agree with you on a problem with the show is that he has now become an attack point for people for this campaign I talked about for.
So now what they do is go that's what I meant when I said what it basically is
amateurish, right?
Here's what's going on to me. Because we are in 2019 and I'm talking to you while you're talking to me, and we're not in the same room, and we are talking to the world, gadgets have led us to believe that we are further from reality than we are. Because what really is going on right now is that on one plantation, they are destroying the media. That media is destroying this buck here. On the other plantation, that's somebody's prize buck. And y'all, this buck that made me $250 million. So since you ain't gonna leave this alone, I'm gonna fight back. And what I'm gonna do is the side that owns the prize buck put the shit out about Toure. And they're going back and forth, and all it is both of these are owned pieces in a game, and that game is a game of distraction, because while we're paying attention to this shit, the government has shut down, and thousands of people are being starved of their money. Right. Workers, people who actually have jobs.
Right. Well, that to me is a completely different issue, but I get what you're trying to say, but the point is that Toure, if he should have come up, because he's become a focal point.
Oh, brother, I hate to interrupt you. But I must, with a question from one of the cats in my chat room.
Okay, go ahead.
He says, CJ Onyx, my man says, well, if you are so offended by this, why would you turn around and do a sketch? Now, before you answer that, CJ, I feel where you're coming from, but I more than likely, and I'll tell you if I don't, but I more than likely agree with what Brandon has to say as an artist. Go ahead.
Because that's the weapons that comics use. And, it's like nunchucks or anything else that's how we express it. It has nothing to do with, especially most of the funny shit that you see comics do, especially when they do sketches, is usually a strike point. It's usually if you go back and look at the early Saturday Night Lives and look who the fuck they were talking about, Nixon, who the fuck they were lampooning. Those are our weapons of choice. And I know it sounds like when I say sketch, it sounds kind of okay. It's just going to be yucky. No, that's not how we. Trust me, it wasn't a sketch to say okay, well, it's a good thing because the joke is in the tragic part, but we don't. That's how we roll when we do our shit. And that's
I'm gonna put a furthermore. Can I put a furthermore on that.
Well, it's your person. It's your,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be cool because I don't know your people, but I'm glad he asked the question because I'm pretty sure a lot of people think about that.
Oh, no, man. My people, man, I'm telling you, I got a bunch of cool ass vegan hippie stoner connected earthy ass black folks in my room. It's really cool.
Right.
But to co-sign what he's saying, CJ, what we do as comics is take whatever you would write down and put an exclamation point on at the end. Damn, I love this car. Damn, it's cold outside. Damn, this pussy is good. Damn, my grandma can make some greens. Damn, that girl is ugly. We take whatever that exclamation point is and expound on it and put it in the language of stand-up or comedy, and we make it funny so that it isn't painful, so that it's easier to talk about, so that it's easier to look at. Sometimes so it's just fucking goofier. But that is us being you being outraged, being you being horny, being you being hungry, being you being abused, being you being whatever you want to put in that blank, and making that real and funny. So that is why you would hurry up and make a sketch about that, to me.
Yeah, and we were before, and look, the sketch wasn't even the best one. I had a contract to get these things done, and it wasn't the best one. But we were before Chappelle when we did our shit. And I think that I always believed in my head that they were trying to hold us back because it's part of the same manager. I got a person right here who's going to say one of my listeners says JFC. This is Cedric. He's a doctor in the southern state. Brother comes in often, pops his head in and whatnot. Very, very, not just pro-black, but pro-black business. And I'm talking about actual doing business, not, he's not necessarily he's not anti-religion, but he's very anti-church bullshit, church shenanigans where they spend their money and shit. So yeah, he says, JSC, Jesus fucking Christ, stop blaming the victim. Adult motherfuckers drink cyanide in Johnstown. And these 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds are to overcome this power dynamic difference. He's asked like a question. He's like saying, not a question. He's actually making a statement.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, but
adult motherfuckers drink cyanide in Jonestown, and these young people are supposed to overcome that power dynamic. And I don't think they will. No, I think it takes an extraordinary young person. People who have their own mindset. Now,
yeah.
I have to tell you.
People who duck when you pee on them. I knew at 15 I didn't like being peed on. I was pretty clear on that. And I don't know how strong that made me. I was just pretty sure. You know what? I was willing to do. At 15, let me say for $1,500 what I would do. For 15. No. My turn. For $1,500, what I would do at 1,519, when was I 15? 65? 1980. $1,519.80. God damn it, that's half of what a car cost then. What would I do for that? It brings up the Meatloaf song. I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. I won't let you pee on me for that. For $1,519.80, I would not let you pee on me. I was pretty sure that I was not going to let a human being of any type urinate on my skin. Now, I don't know. Now, here's my last point, and I'll make it. I don't know how high that makes my self-esteem. And I don't know how low that makes hers. That's the question, is am I just a regular guy that won't let people pee on me? Or am I some kind of super being that won't let people pee on me? Would you let somebody pee on you for $1,519.80?
You still got your degenerative bullshit marks where you'll get money for sitting through some whatever fucked up shit. That is your marks. That was hers.
Those were hers.
14.
Sure.
She was getting paid for it, and she was getting paid for it. She put her money in. I think he put the money on her head or her hand or some shit.
Yep. And paid on her.
Took the money.
Okay. Well, then here's at some point. At some point, Brandon, do you think he could go if in order for this, in order for your argument to be linear, here's what's linear, which is why it's called statutory rape. Here's what's linear.
Right.
If you line up 115-year-olds and you are 21 years old, if you fuck any of them, even the one that says, "Hey, Big Daddy, I'm going to suck your dick," or the one with the glasses that's bashful, that won't even look up, if you fuck either one of them, you are going to jail, and you're not for a long time. Well, you'll get a long sentence. You're not going to live long because that is statutory rape. There's no such thing as a 15-year-old asking for it. There's no such thing. It is on you. Now, here's where it loses the statute. When you walk over and say, "I got $1,500, who will let me pee on them?" The girls who step forth, as guilty as you are, must be looked at and scrutinized for the decision to be pissed on for $1,500 at 15 years old.
You are out of your mind if you think that someone should be held. You've done so much stupid shit when you were young.
I ain't never had nobody pee on me, Brandon.
Fine, congratulations, you made it through. You get a degree, you get a non-P degree.
Really? Is it that rare? Okay, yeah. I need you to chime in on my thread. Those of you who have heard of people who got peed on voluntarily. I'm not talking about you holding a baby.
Why are you? It doesn't matter if it's piss or if he's fucking them. Why are you trying to make it? The action doesn't matter. The action doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. Look, it doesn't matter if you go down and you see somebody with some young girls and all they're doing is just spending the night like Michael Jackson. It doesn't fucking matter, dude. You can't do. It's abuse. I don't give a fuck if it's piss. I don't give a fuck if he's tonguing them. If all he's doing, it doesn't make it. Doesn't. You're saying it doesn't make it because of the disgust of it. Now, once again, it's deflection. So she's supposed to shoulder some of the blame. No. Absolutely fucking not. He's pulling out his shit. He's pissing on him, and it's all on him.
No. R. Kelly is a predator.
It's 10 minutes an hour. I gotta go. You got me talking for goddamn 2 hours. We're gonna do that. We're gonna finish this up, man.
We got to do this up, man. Hey, I'm back on tomorrow night.
Okay.
At around this time. I think at least once a month we ought to do this shit. What y'all think in my room, let me know. Brandon, always a pleasure. We still cool as a fan. We live around the corner from each. Hey, man, when you gonna bring Betty by here?
You know, Fat Betty, the engine light just came out. I just ran an OBD2 on there to see what code it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get I think it's there was some problems with the piston, the timing. So I have to check that out. But she's running great, man. I'm digging her. I'm digging Fat Betty.
Come on, man. Come on. Well, I'm going to join you.
I hit a raccoon and she fucked up my whole front end. That's
Yeah, well, at least it wasn't a skunk.
All right. Okay. I'll talk to you later, man. We'll wrap.
Peace. That was my man, Brandon Bolin. He and I go at it, and we do something that I believe needs to be done more with black people. The ability to disagree without being enemies. To give one another things to think about. Because if we were both tribal leaders, even in our disagreement, I believe if Brandon had a tribe of people, let me take you let me take you where the weed is taking me. It's 10 years from now. Society has collapsed. So nuclear waste has got out. And it's killing everybody. But black people, it's good for us somehow. And we get stronger. But money is fucked up. This whole system is collapsed. And me and Brandon sit on a council of thousands of people who are in our tribe. And there's a round table of elders, and we are on it. And some shit like this happens where some dude has been doing this. Here's where me and Brandon will disagree. The level of accountability of the teenager, the level of accountability of the parents, the level of accountability of the adults involved, the level of accountability of the adults who work for R. Kelly. But where we won't disagree on is that this sick motherfucker needs to twist. Oh yeah, we gonna, bruh. We're not gonna disagree there. We'll be on it there. And I think that's where people lose focus. Is that I think that all these things can be true. And the danger, to be honest, and I wanted to tell Brandon this, he sounds like a religious zealot to me when he has an on-off thinking. Heaven or hell, Coke or Pepsi. You are being forced to choose either or. Trump or Hillary. See that? There is a sound that the controlling interests do not want to hear us make. That sound is, wait, hold up. I don't want to hear that. Because when you hit them with a wait, hold up, that means you're thinking on your own. That means you are actually reaching past the illusion of choice. I don't think off on. There's some in the middle. And there are gradations of who was more guilty in this. Who bears more guilt? Okay? Here's my pyramid. At the top is R. Kelly, no sweat. Okay? The same thing that got R. Kelly fucking around is the same thing that gets men fucked up with transsexuals and transvestites. And that's girls. Girls. Transsexuals and transvestites, especially transsexuals, they change to look like girls. Them lady dudes in the Philippines look like girls, not women. If you aim at girls, you might hit a young one. That's your problem. You got to bring your aim up. Start looking for stretch marks and grandkids. I want a grown-ass woman if I'm out there hunting. I can tell you, I'm 53. I have never been happier in my life. My wife amazingly makes me happy. She makes me happier. By leaps and bounds. I've never felt anything like this. It's fantastic. But shit happens. And if something were to happen, I would be crushed. But I would not be. Oh, shit. I lost it. I'm that high. Okay, let me back up. I was married. I'm married. I love my wife. Somebody tell me what I was talking about so I can get back to that, and then we'll do that. While you tell me what I was talking about so I can make that point I was making, I'm going to go back through the talking. And remember, tell me, y'all, give me your critique on how the phone call went tonight. You can either put it here or put it at askunclejeff@gmail.com. All of you, please. All 17 of you, I need you to drop me some commentary on tonight's show. How can I make it better? What can I do different? What was I about to say? Willie 417, you stupid. I know you have a mixer. You can buy a $10 cable to connect that phone to so you don't have to hold it. That's hilarious. Here's the deal, Willie. I just lost my Android phone. This is another. In 2 years, I've probably lost 4 phones. I lose them. I leave them. I break them. So I just got this one back. You can't really see this mixing board. This board. It's not a mixing board. I have an interface, a Focusrite interface, and it's set in like an Argosy board, like the slanted board where your racks go in. So I got to get under it to run it properly. I might just find me an XLR to mini. I might have an XLR. Let me see if I got an XLR to mini so that I can run it out of my headphone and straight into the front of the interface. But I haven't had time to do that. And like somebody said, I didn't want to hold the show up with Brandon. Yeah, Blowfly said it. Thank you, brother. Late. Adjusted for inflation, $1,500 in 1980 is equal to $4,821. Right. Yeah. I don't think you could pee on me for $5,000. For $5,000, somebody flashed me $5,000. Would I let them pee on me? Here's what I would do. I would say yes. I would sit down and as soon as I sat down and that horrible motherfucker reached for his fly, I would hit him with 2, not 1, but 2 shots to the balls. First, a right uppercut to the balls. Then, a right elbow smash into his right thigh. And then, when he roll, that's going to make him roll. He goes for his balls, elbow into the thigh meat as hard as I can, makes him fall to my left. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good enough. That's for asking me to piss on me. But you even ask me no shit like that. Like you don't let you pee on me. You got your goddamn. But again, that's me. Just made it in the building. What's up, Brad Cooper? That still ain't enough to get splashed with good goals. Come on, Anthony. Come on, bro. I can't do it. Nigga. Robert Williams. Robert Williams said Brandon done had somebody pee on him. That's hilarious. So the guy talking to the pistol Willie Pussy. That's funny. We do not have royalty or nobility in the USA, so people worship celebrities. Yeah, Blowfly. I've often jokingly said the Jacksons are Black America's royal family. That's our royal family. Look at the Jacksons. They look royal. I would say it's the Kings, but they ain't got no hits. We shall overcome. That's it. They don't have. They don't. Okay. Chase Watkins says, yeah, that was cool, Jeff, but you should think about using Skype or Discord for calls. Okay, it would be a lot easier on you. What I'm thinking about is doing it a little even different than that. I'm thinking about getting a secondary phone number to my phone, and that phone number will be for y'all. Seriously, that phone number will be for y'all. And depending upon how busy I am, just like another line, I'll answer it. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. What y'all think of that? That I got a phone number, and then like you can call into the show because I had a phone plugged into my board. Y'all tell me, give me y'all thoughts on that. Let's see. You was talking about having a grown woman in your life. Oh, thank you, Blowfly. Yes. My wife is a goddamn grown-ass woman. I'm blissfully happy. But God forbid something should happen, we break up. Do you know why I'm never gonna be naked with a transsexual? Because that's not my thing. It's because I am not interested in girls. I like women, and I need proof. I need some pictures of grandkids, pictures of you in your 4th grade, pictures of you in high school cheerleader uniform. You know, that shit grown-ass women keep. Pictures of you in college. And you're going to have to be near my age, so that would be like the birth of the butt shot, the turnaround shot right there. I'm going to need that. I'm going to need shit grown-ass women got. Stretch marks, grandkids. You can't fake that. Surgeon can't give you stretch marks and grandkids. A doctor can give you kids, but he can't give you grandkids. That's what I need. You shoot for that. Stop fucking with these girls. Okay. And that sound is catching. I don't know what that means. Okay. Phone call was cool. Next time, connect your phone to your system. Yeah. Not high as Giraffe Balls, but I'm buzzing, and this is the realest episode I've watched this far. Thank you, as the magician. Please share it. Let people know. Preferring grown women as well. Yes. You were saying it's basically the trouble of male nature, susceptibility, how contextualize accountability. As you were saying, thank you, Dollar Bill. Shout out. Okay. God damn it. I miss you, bruh. Y'all, look up DJ Dollar Bill out of Chicago. That's a goddamn DJ. That's all I'm going to say about that. As you were saying, basically, the trouble of male nature and its susceptibility to deception and how it contextualizes accountability. Okay. I'm not going to fuck with that right now, Dollar Bill. I'm going to tell you why you ain't shit. Because you know I'm high and saying shit like that. Excellent call. This way we gain knowledge from different perspectives, even those we might not necessarily agree with. At first, but the way you bros did it without ego tripping made it good. Thank you, Onyx. Thank you. That's why I call cats. You know, them the kind of cats I fuck with. Like, Brandon is my dude. I'm going to have some other calls. I'm going to have Rodney Perry. That's my dude. Evan Lionel. That's my dude. I'm going to have him call into the show. And we chop it up. What you heard is how me and Brandon Bolin lives here in Pasadena. And many times I'll go over to his spot and it'll wind up, you know, I'm just coming to drop something off, and 3 hours later we standing there talking. And the shit we super agree on, we do. And when we don't, we draw swords. But at the end of it, that's my man. That is just, that's how brothers there's the only way we gonna move forward. That's the only way. I think my thinking is a little more barbaric than Brandon's, which is odd. Well, I don't know. I think he took a turn that I didn't. I mean, Brandon used to play college ball at USC. And had a hot temper when we was coming up. And so did I. So I always gave Brandon a wide berth because he wasn't small and I wasn't scared. And I didn't know how that would turn out. And I didn't want to find out. But it was a damn good fight. I just didn't want to know. So I just kind of, and it didn't look like he was cool with me and I didn't want to, you know. But I always dug his comedy. And me and Brandon kind of really started, you know, hooking up and talking about shit after we both were hired by Cat Williams to write. And some shit went down, and subsequently the project we were supposed to do didn't go. Cat he paid us like he said he was going to pay us. He paid us the other half of the money. He didn't have to do that. I know I'm down a different road, but if we're going to talk about don't believe everything you hear, you need to watch what you hear about Cat Williams. This is from my experience with the brother. He ain't never do nothing but shoot straight with me. Ever. Now, there are people I know that have differing opinions. As a matter of fact, if you want to read about me and Brandon writing together, pick up Pimp Down, The Rise and Fall of Cat Williams by Daryl Littleton. Shout out to D. Militant. Hell of a writer. Let me see. it was good that you set a direction for the convo at the start. It just doesn't have to be an Australian walkabout every show. Just wandering around till it's time to end the show. Sure. I like that. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah. Having a place to go. Well, what I'm thinking of connecting it to is at least one night will be connected to the inappropriate hour, so you can compare and contrast. I haven't put the inappropriate hour up here from last week yet, but I will. The subject tomorrow night will be, am I homophobic because I'm homocritical? Am I homophobic because I'm homocritical? And we just gonna roll on that for a minute. Wow, just get a DNA test, right? Grown-ass woman starter kit, absolutely. Yeah, I think the second phone line is a good idea. Second phone line, great to go. Save time, 2 bullets to the head, absolutely. Well, yeah. Well, that's what's up. You know, I think from time to time, I'm gonna have cats call in, and chop it up with me. And if I can work it out in a few minutes, there will be a phone line for y'all to call. I'm gonna try. I can't promise. I'm gonna try to have that phone line set up by tomorrow night. It shouldn't be that hard. You should be able to just get online, just order it up and credit card it or whatever the hell you got to do. But I don't know. But I'm about to fuck with it so that we can have, if y'all want to call in, you call in and do it up for real. And just call me. And you can call me on that number after the show, whenever. I'm not saying I'm going to always answer that in the phone. That line will be a much lower priority than my other cell phone number. But yes, it would be cool. Wow. Respectfully, there is no such thing as homophobic unless you're afraid of humans. That is what homophobic really means. Blowfly. Pretty please with sugar on top. I'm not going to ruin it. Please tune in tomorrow night. Because that is so in the lane of what I'm going to be discussing tomorrow. That is so in the lane of what I'm discussing tomorrow. Let's see. Just be aware, without a screener, you might have some crazy cats bringing the bullshit. Sure. Well, that is a growth problem, CJ. Now, generally, I haven't run into that on Zoe's show because, and when you do run across the crazies, you have to encourage them to get their own damn show if they want to say that much. This ain't your show. Call here, say what you got to say, and I'm going to give you plenty of time to talk. I like to talk. I'll talk to you almost till you don't make sense because I like to talk. But as we move forward, I tighten the show a little bit, and I tighten it. Think of this as a work in progress and that I am stumbling forward. I think that's the best way to, that's the way I like to, one of the ways I would say I like to describe one of my mantras for working in this game, in this business, is that I'm not afraid to stumble forward. I'm not afraid to fall on my face. I'm not. It doesn't scare me at all to lay it all on the line, to really go after something. And I think that's the place that you have to be. You willing to lay it all out there. My man Anthony Sullivan says what happens if your caller is overly loquacious. I'll hang up on his monkey ass. I mean, I don't know how it gets any simpler than that. Well, my good people, we at the end of another one. I learned a lot tonight. I think we just made a major jump. One, we definitely are going to have more calls. And we're going to have a walkabout show. A phrase coined, thank you, Cephas, said another good one. A phrase coined by, who said it here? Yes, by my man Anthony Sullivan. Once a month, a walkabout show. And then we'll figure out the phone calls. But for the most part, we about to go somewhere, y'all. And I need you, please, to share this. If you thought this show was good enough, share it. Let people know. I ain't asking y'all for no money yet. Stupid. I'm just asking you to let people know what's up. I think people need to see this kind of shit. Let them know what's out there. That's what I need from y'all. Can you do that for me? Can you do that for me? Help me out. Put me out there. I'm pushing. I need y'all to help me push. All right? Thank all of y'all that stayed in here. Thank everybody who had something to say. Thanks for the suggestions. Remember, please, 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 I'm expecting every one of you to drop me a note at askunclejeff@gmail. As it sounds, ASKUNCLEGEOFF@gmail. Drop me some notes, what you felt about the show, how I can make it better, what I'm fucking up, what I'm doing good, whatever, so that we can mold this show into something that a lot of people love. Because it ain't just for me, it's for y'all. A lot of people need to hear this shit I gotta say. All right? I love y'all. See you tomorrow night at 11.